Hey everybody, good evening. It's Reg at Asylum Hot Rods. It is 20 to 9 on, what is it, Wednesday today? Yeah, I guess we're a week in here. So phone might beep a few times tonight. I'm still chasing some parts, so keep my phone close by. Had a couple good days of chasing parts. That was fun. It's always part of the thing. Scrounging, we call it scrounging. Scroungers Car Club. Anyways, I got my my game beard going on here, weekend. Those in Canada know what this is all about, right? Playoff beard. All right, so yeah, we're gonna carry on. Put a few pictures up on Facebook over the last couple of days. I said I was gonna keep the social media stuff going when we weren't live. We've done that. I might post some more later on, either today or tomorrow anyways, of some of the stuff that Bert and I were able to continue to do. Basically, we got a lot of the structure in on the bottom. It was just more of the same. That's why I didn't bother doing another live stream video of the exact same thing you've already been seeing, which was cut, weld, cut, weld, cut, weld. But again, I did send some pictures, so no cheating as I promised. I got Paul out grabbing some parts for me that we were able to find. We got in a situation where we couldn't hang the doors because we had one set that were okay, another set that were torched off. And there's no point in hanging one door and building the inner structure around it because we have to do that. Unless we knew what we were doing with the other side. It was kind of, we didn't want to get into a situation where we're going to have to change the full set and then go backpedal. Suicide doors came up. That was definitely an option that we're leaning towards. I even grabbed another set of late model doors that we had at the shop that we might have been pilfering for hinges and stuff. But saying that, good buddy Larry that we got the car from had an old door laying around and an extra hinge. So Paul's grabbing that tonight on his way home from work, along with a fuel tank and a couple of rims. We were looking for a pair of rims for that back for the 9-inch that we were looking for with the 5 on 5.5. So we've got some good pieces coming in. So hopefully that's going to help things roll along over the next few. When Paul gets here, which should be any time now, probably the next half hour or so, we're going to get that stuff unloaded, just bring it in, and I'm going to wait for that point. We kind of celebrated at one point of getting the frame all jigged up and ready to go. Where we sit right now, as you can see, the hoist is not where it was last time, which was holding up underneath the frame. We have not lifted it off the jack stands yet. That's kind of a big deal too. The first time we can now lift it up off the floor and get it up into the air. So anyways, I'm gonna wait till Paul gets here. Wish Bert was here tonight, but he's working. He's be here tomorrow doing work on Paul's caddy actually, and working on that. So because he wants to come to Nebraska too in our 62 caddy, so that'll be cool. There's some pictures of that sort of been ongoing on Facebook as well. So anyways, when Paul gets here, we're gonna take a break from what I'm doing tonight, which is putting together our 322 nailhead, and I'll be babbling about the history of that motor because that motor and I have been bouncing around for a while. Yet this will be the first time we're ever actually going to get it running, and we're talking probably 6-year history, this motor and I. So anyways, it's left my hands, come back, but anyways, we'll talk about that in a little while. So yeah, so when Paul gets here, we're going to lift it up. We're going to put the car up in the air. Just we got a big mess underneath of it, which would be a lot easier to clean if it was up in the air. And then probably tomorrow or Friday, we'll get back on the body. Waiting for a set of motor mount cushions to come in to get this motor in. We've got the motor mounts. We just needed the rubbers. Yeah, so anyways, I'll go on when I start assembling this motor tonight. We'll readjust the camera so you get a better view of what I'm doing, and I'll babble on about a lot of the parts that we've had to chase on this thing and the history there. So anyways, one other thing, I got a little project here. Some people might have seen this on our Facebook or Instagram. This is the glove box store off of this car. So I'll probably do a little video tomorrow or the next day. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do a little video. We'll just post it. I won't do it live because it'll just be kind of one of these projects that we do. So the original glove box door looks really nice on the back side, but the side we look at, which was where the clock used to be, it's a little bit rough. It takes patina to the next level. But anyway, so I'm going to do a little fun experiment with this and this. No product endorsement. And I might even throw this little guy that my daughter threw at us into the mix. So we're gonna do a fun little project, see if we can do something with this mess and save it. So anyways, I'm gonna put that under the shelf here for a later date and time. Bear with me while I adjust this camera. Hopefully you don't get too weird of a view. Anyways, what's going on here? Oh. See if we can find a good view. Sorry if I'm making anybody get seasick here. Yeah, that's not bad, is it? Not too bad. Or Okay, get some tools out of the way. Now that view sucks. Okay, so basically I'm working on this motor on the floor. I was gonna lift it up and put it on the stand, but you know what? Sometimes that's just a pain in the butt, especially for what we're gonna be doing tonight. No, 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 is that any better? That's not too bad. Can you live with that? How's this for live, eh? I don't want to put it too low, all you're gonna get is a picture of my crotch all night. There we go, that's cool. So it doesn't fall. Okay. How's that working? Of course, I tried it earlier on. I had a perfect view of what I was doing. So, how's that? Is that gonna work for everybody? So everybody can see my fat belly while I'm here? Not really. All right. Anyways, nobody wants to look at me anyways. So this is our 322 nailhead. We, like I said, I've had this motor for a while. It is so originally we ran the numbers on it, casting numbers. You can see it's kind of a junkyard dog. It's still got some goo on it. So there's a cack. I ran that number. I'm just going to work as I babble on here. So basically, I'm just reassembling the top end. I'm going to put some new head gaskets on it. We didn't touch the bottom end, and as I babble on about the history of that thing, I think I'm going to get a fuel pump kit because that baby looks like it's worked for a little while there. So we may have to add that. Add that to the gotta-do list that I haven't even started because I'm just winging it. Yeah. So anyways, I'm going to grab the head gasket set here. How's that for going nostalgic? I don't know where they grabbed this thing from. Okay, how about that thing? That's been around for a while. Eh? So this motor. So yeah. So anyways, we ran the casting number off the back. Casting numbers generally give us an idea of what the motor is supposed to be, and kind of give you a generation of knowing what some of the history of it is and what it's supposed to be. But those casting numbers can go across a lot of different models and horsepower ratings and compression ratios and full setup. So the casting numbers helps you a little bit, gets you going in the right direction, but depending on what you're working on, it can lead you astray. And that casting number went me astray for just a little bit because originally we ran it and came back as a 56 322. So it was right, it is a 322. The 56 part was not quite right. So on the other side of the block, right in a tab here, right on that side, there's another number on there, and that number helps you further identify which model and horsepower rating and stuff that you actually have. And when I ran that number on a lot of the nailhead sites, it was a number that was not recognized at all. It didn't decode whatsoever. So anyways, after a lot of digging, going through, I remembered somewhere back in my memory banks that these actually came in some of the big trucks from, I think, 56 to 59, maybe even later than that. I'm not an expert on that, don't pretend to be, but yeah, so when I started running the number on some of those guys' websites, sure enough, we got a hit. And what it came back to was a 322 in a, I believe it was a 3-ton, maybe it was a 5-ton, big heavy truck, and a 59. So that casting number ran right up through till 59, when all the guys were sharing some parts and stuff like that. So I'm just going through my gasket set here, going through stuff here, looking like front of the head, some of the water jacket stuff, top of the valve covers, another exhaust gasket. Don't think we're going to use those, but we might. You never know. And these are kind of nice steel shims head gaskets, the old steel ones. So those are cool. So yes, we got those. So that's the pieces I'm looking for. So anyways. And that's about it. So not bad. Missing one thing that I was hoping that was supposed to be in here was this little ring here that goes in for the water pump bypass. And I actually pulled the brass plug out of there because it had a brass plug in there as well. Sounds like Paul might be here. Yeah, and the reason I had a brass plug in, part of more of the history, was we actually got this out of a marina. It was in an old wooden boat, and it got yanked out, and it supposedly had only about 5 hours, or sorry, 500 hours boat, but now that we've got more of the history of what it originally came out of or was meant for, hard to say. But we were in with the premise that that's what the hours that were on it, and we pulled the heads off. There's a couple of valves that were sunk a little bit, but that looked more like it was from sitting, so we changed the valves and put some hardened seats in there as well. All right, I'm gonna go pop that door. It sounds like it might be Paul. Here, you can look at my engine for a while. Yep, that's Paul. Hey, Paul. We're live, buddy. We're live. We're live. All right, so make that seasick again. Paul's here, so we're just gonna adjust the view for when we pop that baby off. There she is again. Oh, just right there, I guess, buddy. Oh.
Never even got to more drop off than never even got to. Because of the floor, but kind of got off. A lot to get all this stuff.
Oh, really? No, it wasn't like you had it down there. I'd keep you there for a few minutes. I got your parts, Larry. Thanks, buddy.
I think you said the pin is not good on it though.
Well, see what we can do. See what we can do. Make it. So I saved something for you and for everybody before I did something without you. So want to do the honors and take her off the stands, buddy?
What? Really?
Yeah, take her off the stands.
Wow. Boy, that's good, eh?
I was gonna let you where it was supposed to be, but we decided to hold off till today. We do it live, and so no cheating.
Nice.
Yeah, it's got some structure in here now, so they're on the trunk that's just sitting in there right now. But
Wow.
yeah, we can all just locked in.
That looks great.
Yeah, Bert was running the welder pretty hardcore at the front, and I was running in the back, and
Today?
yeah, 2 days ago.
Looks good. Wow.
Yeah, yesterday was a dead day for chasing parts, and I wasn't feeling the best, so
It's come a long way.
there's no ways to go. But I'm gonna put the motor together tonight, so. Okay, we got the blower intake.
So did you get the flywheel?
Got the flywheel back. Yeah, Alex picked that up for baseball tonight.
Nice.
And we got the blower intake back from Steve. So it's all machined and ready to go. I dry fit everything earlier to make sure that it is. So yeah, I'm gonna put the motor together tonight. Well,
Nice.
at least the head's on and that far. And
Nice.
that stuff, so.
Oh, right on.
All right.
You're coming along, man.
Thanks for the parts.
No problem.
Go have some dinner.
Yeah.
So,
What's water in here?
we're ready.
I didn't. John Valley.
Still there? You hung in with us? Thanks. Had to help Paul with something. He helps me, I help him. All right, I got to find a better angle for this thing because that looked like crap a minute ago when we were doing that. Group of drawers. Group of drawers. Group of drawers. Any better? A lot better if we edited today. What's going on there? Hey, that's better. Yeah, that's all right. You can see what's going on there. All right, so anyway, so good news. We got the motor going. Fire's up on the hoist. I'm just going to close the shop door so I don't get covered in bugs. Sun's going down in Muskoka, so we're getting time for the bugs to come in. So anyway, so there's oh, where'd our camera go? Oh, there it is. The camera moved on me. So there's one of the hinges we got. Needs pins. That's all right. Better than what we had, which is absolutely nothing. So anyways, all right. I got to focus now. There's important stuff. We want to make sure we do this right. So set head gasket. So I've done a lot of small blocks over the years, cut my teeth on that. So I'm, I guess my background is actually I'm an automotive technician. I think I mentioned that. A mechanic, as it were, when we used to call us guys mechanics. I say. I know some guys will put shellac on this stuff here too. That sort of stuff. I don't like it. Everybody's got their own way of doing things. Your rate's your way's your way, my way's my way. You might have described that before. This is gonna suck. Anyway, so yeah, it's been in the box for a while. There we go. Hang on there. All right, a nail head. Heavy as crap. Heavy as crap. So you will see we've got to have these heads rebuilt. Like I said, buddy's down in Aurelia took care of it for me. How's that? Looks good. Looks good. All right. So nail heads are very heavy. Hopefully I don't bust the gasket myself. There we go. Not bad. Stayed in one shot. Okay. When I do that, before I walk away, I like to at least grab one bolt. Just put her in there, just like that, just so things don't slip and slide. Well, as I said, everybody's got their way of doing this stuff. There's a lot of different products you can put on head bolts. They go through the water jackets. Likes to have some sealant of some type. I say some type because guys have different stuff they use. I got taught by a bunch of old guys that taught me how to do it, so they've taught me how to do it wrong, and then I've taught other people how to do it wrong, yet for some reason I don't have any head gaskets ever come back. So like I said, some guys put shellac on these steel gaskets. I haven't. I don't. Sorry, I'm just laying out my head bolts up above you. I just like to lay them out. These ones have different sizes, obviously depending on whether they're going through the short side here, or the tall side, or the medium side. So I'm just laying them all out, just getting all the remnants up. So anyways, according to today's technology and today's idea of sealing engines, as I understand it, with all this new modern stuff, you're not supposed to use RTV silicone on head bolts, even when they go through into a water jacket. Water jacket will keep things cool, water circulation, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, I still use RTV, and I not only put it on the ones that go into the water jackets, I put it in on every one, unless it's a dead hole. And by dead hole, I mean it goes into a part of the casting that has nothing in it. So the reason that I like to put it in every one is so that each of the bolts is getting not only torqued to the same spec, but with the same type of material around the thread, so that I get a fair read between each one. So in other words, if I put one in dry with nothing on it, and then I put one in with some silicone or thread sealant or whatever you feel like doing on yours, I just feel that you can get a different reading and therefore be torquing these heads in a mismatched manner. Feel free to comment below your opinions. Don't berate me for mine. Again, I'm 46. I've been doing this since I was, I don't even know. I guess I started, well, I'll tell you, the first motor that I put together was in a 70 Impala convertible, which I own to this day. It was my dad's. It's now mine. Needs to be restored. We won't talk about that today. But yeah, still on that car, and that was the first engine that I put together, was a 50 in that thing, 350, 30 over, and that's what I do this stuff. And yeah, some backyarders that have the incorrect way of doing things, yet somehow stuff worked compared to some of the stuff that I learned from so-called licensed mechanics. A lot of the backyarders that I worked with over the years were way better mechanics than some of the guys that actually held a ticket. But we learn what we can from everybody. Take what you want, leave behind what you don't. So anyways, yeah, so as I said before, we're just going to do this in real time. I've done some prep work on this motor, again, because I've had it for a while. So some of the parts chasing I've done on this motor, again, I sort of touched base that when I picked it up, it was a marine motor. And whether it was actually in a truck before, or whether that code crosses over to an industrial application for marine use, I don't know. I dug into it and got the explanation for why I couldn't find it in any of the Buick Century or other models, so that's enough for me. Hey, mosquitoes, nice. Mosquitoes in August. So because it was in a marine application when I picked it up, we were missing a few bits and pieces. Number one, it had a starter. So that was fun. There's some guys out there that are making high torque mini starters. Heard good things, heard bad things. I got mine from Russ Martin, who's a Nailhead guru, go-to guy, knows more about, what's his deal saying? He's forgot more than I'll ever know. But nailheads, 100% sure, because I don't really know that much about them. I just sort of learn as I go. So, but I went through a lot of his ideas and applied it to what we're doing today. So, thanks, Russ. Yeah, so that was one issue. The flywheel that I had two. I had a nice big heavy steel one. I also had a aftermarket lightweight aluminum one, but unfortunately it has been seen better days. I might actually grab that. When I share that with you if I still got it laying here. I'm looking. Yeah, I fired that somewhere far away so I wouldn't have to try it again. Yeah, so anyways, it looked like a beautiful piece, a nice racing piece. And but when we try to match it up with a pressure plate and clutch disc that would go with it, excuse me, all the bolt holes were in the wrong spot, and a few of them were pulled, and one of them somebody to re-drill and tap and put it crooked and whatever else. So it was a nice lightweight piece that could have been fun to use, but some monkey got to it before us. So anyway, so we went back to this one. My guess is that this flywheel was attached to a dyna or something at one point, based on how things looked. Yeah, so it had a nice fresh surface that we were able to machine, and which was nice. We did that and got a nice clutch surface, and we re-drilled it and tapped it for everything we needed. We had a bushing made to go in the back of it because it was significantly larger than what the pilot bearings would be that we needed to use. So we had that done to match the transmission we're using, which is a Super T10 Borg Warner. Numbers come back out of that thing for a 76 Corvette, if that means a lot to you. Cool. Doesn't really mean much to me other than I know what the gear issue is, and it's should be okay for what application we're going through here. So hopefully it'll serve as well. Yeah, so anyway, so we were able to get all that stuff matched up. I have one, we do have a nice conversion bell housing over there too, an aluminum bell housing, and that we're able to get. And Hurst mounts, some more cool go fast parts from back in the day. So yeah, we're trying to put together a motor that is somewhat era correct for the look I'm going for, which is a sort of a mid to late 50s. Oh, look at the nailhead came out sort of thing, and somebody's hot rodded their 36. That's kind of the look I'm going for. I like my builds to be, I don't want to say era correct. I'm not super picky about having to find the exact right part that they made and the casting number and this and all that other fun stuff. Those that do that, that's cool, man. You guys have the patience and fortitude that I do not. I've chased some parts for this stuff, some that I had to get that were original, mainly because there was either nothing that I could adapt or it just made sense to do it that way because it was the way that made the most sense. But yeah. So yeah, so we've got that stuff going on. I was able to source out a water pump because, of course, being in a freshwater boat, it did not have a normal, what we would call a circulation pump. It just had a couple hoses that fed off high pressure water, probably off of a V drive or a crank driven water pump, kind of like what's in some of the late model wakeboard boats. If you're into that stuff, you'll know what I'm talking about. So we had to get a water pump, got that, no problem. We've got a fuel pump here that I'm looking at that I think we should probably try to find a kit for and rebuild, because that's probably what's going to let me down on the highway somewhere along the way, or starve the the motor of fuel and run a lean condition on top of the blower, that would be a really, really sad day. Yeah, so we got, it had an external oil cooler and or filter. So that's cool. We're just going to run that. I'm going to run that with a couple high pressure hoses to an oil filter adapter somewhere along there, either on the firewall or elsewhere, depending on how the plumbing goes. And yeah, I think that's about covered it off the things we had to find. Oh, of course, the other thing we're missing was also a water pump pulley. We had no water pump. We had no water pump pulley, of course. And we got visitors. Hello.
Hi, are you expecting a tow truck?
Yes, it's got Mary Jane.
Well, he's driving up and down the road.
Okay. All right. Well, back in 5. I got a tow truck dropping off. Got a tow truck dropping off Mary Jane. Mary Jane's here. That's 47 Dodge. Check out our Facebook page. I'm back. Sorry, guys. Tow truck driver. Tow truck driver, and he's into hot rods and rat rods too. So I'm back. Sorry about that. And got the keys. Party in June. Mary Jane's here, safe and sound. She looks good. So, anyways, I want to make sure we took care of that guy, just because I don't like starting to torque anything without and worry about being interrupted. Got a rule at my old shop. That was rule number 1. When somebody had a torque wrench in their hand, no go. No fly. Leave that person alone. Too important. Too important. Let's get the pattern going right here. That was incorrect, but we're just basically I'm just seating. I like to run them in by hand. Again, kind of old school here, but I like doing it this way because it gives me a feel for what's going in and make sure there's no obstructions and threads are good. Here my silicone using. I got 2 studs here. Just want to make sure that they didn't get mixed up. So there's one front and back. I'm just double checking my studs for the next one. Got a message from my friends. Bird Hill being a smart ass. Oh, smart Alex, sorry. Put electric pump on. Old school, Bert. Old school. Impact is faster, LOL. Yeah. It's not about speed, Bert. Okay, maybe we got this thing done in a week, so maybe Bert's right. Anyways. So yeah, so I had 1 and 2. Double check the other ones, and I'm gonna hang on to one of these for the other side because we're actually gonna put our lifting ring back on there. Because we will have to lift this motor up, and it gives us something to lift off of, so that's fun. All right. And Bert, you keep giving me hints. I'm gonna expect you to come show up and do the other side, dude. Bert's at home, relaxing, his feet up. Lovely wife probably made him a sandwich. And here I am slaving away in the stinky garage by myself. Man, looking for tools, and I was prepared already. So anyways, I wasn't going to film this because I thought this is really boring. A few people told me on Messenger and other ways that I thought it was kind of neat. And following the premise of I'm not going to cheat, this motor's not together. So we're going to put it together tonight. And here we are. So we're going to walk this baby up to where it's supposed to be. I know you're coming into Marlboro. It's just not the same without you, buddy. See your door in the background. I got a Willys door. Got some hinges. And again, Larry was able to help us out with. Thanks again, Larry. And he had a few fuel tanks. So he sent me some measurements on the fuel tanks. And we got one that we think is going to be a good fit for what we've done in the back with our rails. And yeah. So did that one? Yeah, I did. So I mean about talking and not paying attention. Get that one. socket. What else is there? He got? Yeah, he got his a pair of rims too. So, anyways, there's the first torque. Some of these newer ones are all torque to yield and stuff like this. This one isn't, just old school. So. Put that up there. I'm just gonna double check, make sure I got the right torque reading. Yes, we do. All right. There you go. Gotta switch sockets, don't like that one. Bert says, "Did I get the flat bar?" No. No flat bar today, buddy. I'll grab some tomorrow. So this is 40 torque. Just running around. Double check in. Make sure everything is where it's supposed to be. Some guys will come and do a double check after a while. I don't, because I want my sealant to set up. Anyways, there's one head down. One head down. One to go. Sorry about the obscene view. All right, so the lifting tab bracket. You can tell by the twist to it. It's either had a rough life or gives you an indication of how heavy a nail head is. He's heavy. So I'm just going to straighten it out. Throw it in the vise, and we'll squish. Get a hammer or two. There. I'm gonna give this thing a whack with a hammer. Anyways, there's a bracket. A little straighter than it was. There looks pretty good. Just thinking from where the valve cover is going to be going. Threads are a little rough on that. Threads are wee bit rough. Okay, I'm gonna spin that off for now. Basically, the threads here got some rust on it, and instead of, I don't want to cross thread this because I'm counting on this to hang on to our engine and transmission because it's going to be all together when we get there. I really don't want to cross thread it, so I'll chase that baby in a little while with the dye and clear it up. So anyway, I'm gonna move on to the other head and do that side, but maybe what I'll do is I'm gonna put the rocker assembly on and show you that, and then I'll probably shut the camera off at that point and I'll just do the other side because all it is a repeat of the same. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. So we're gonna peel this back a little bit. So the lifter valley is a little tight when you put the heads on to try to get the pan on. So this is the lifter valley tray on the nail head. This one's actually still got the baffle in it and the oil fill tube. It actually slides in here, but it actually slides underneath there. So if you had this in the car and you had all the baffles and didn't put an aftermarket one, they have aluminum ones that are completely flat that are a lot easier to put on and off, but this baby does not want to come out that way because it's got that and there's a shield in here too. So the only way to get it off, if the heads are on, is actually this way. I've got the distributor out, so I'm lucky enough that I can do it. And the reason I don't put this on first right now is because when I'm dropping all the push rods in, I can see what I'm doing. If this tray was on, then I can't really see exactly where it is and know 100% sure that they're all going in where they're supposed to. Anyway, so here's all our push rods. So give them a little wipe down. Again, I haven't done this before. Oops. Just gonna give these a little wipe down. Look at each ball end to make sure it looks okay. Here's the ball end. So they're a little different than if you're doing small valves or the like, in the fact that they've got a solid end. They're not hollow. They're on a rocker shaft. Looks like the top end gets oiled through the rocker shaft, as it were. Yeah, so basically just feeding each of the push rods through. Just a little bit cleaner on my rack here. Oh yeah, so I'm gonna tell you the story. All right, I'll tell you a story about this silly motor and how long it's taken us to get here today. So I think I mentioned that I'd found this boat was at a marina. I was doing a little bit of consulting work from an operational perspective. And anyways, this old motor was sitting under the bench, and it was all bagged and looked like it had been loved at one point. And anyways, me being me, I see an old motor that seems out of place, and I'm like, hey, what's the story with that old motor? So as I mentioned it, the story went that this was an old wooden boat. I don't know whether it was a Corvette or it's a little Sunflash or anything fancier than that. I'm pretty sure it's fancier than that considering what it is. But anyway, so the fellow that owned this nice expensive antique boat decided that he didn't like this old motor. He wanted one of those fancy Mercruisers with fuel injection and turnkey start and whatever else they had going on with that thing. Anyway, so that's what they did. They basically updated the boat to make it better, and they pulled out this beautiful running motor, which, as I said, was supposed to have low hours on it, and put in a fancy new Mercury motor. So good for him, even better for me. So I picked this thing up for a song, and I had it kicking around for a while.